The whole thing about the channel that I was doing was the self-sufficiency aspect of it. If you can't grow your own food, then that's game over. It truly is.
Hello, Americans. Another friend and subscribers around the world. Today, man, I'm out here in the trading post. This is where I, buy, sell, and trade merchandise out of. This is where my desk's at, and I'm sitting here going through a whole bunch of clips that I got for you. Adapt 2030, David Dubine, my old buddy David Dubine, did a video yesterday that he didn't release on YouTube. You have to go over to Rumble. I'll probably put the link down below. So, man, make sure you go over. Everybody should see it. Man, he kind of freaks you out, man. I'll tell you what, my heart and prayers and everything is so over in Ohio and everything going on. Got another little blip I'll put in here of ERIN BROCKOVICH talking on it. I listened, man, I've been, like I said, just constantly listening and podcasts and videos and everything. And, man, I found a podcast last night. There was an interview with a gal there in Palestine that was right there. And, man, the stuff that they have been going through for the last, 3 weeks is it's terrible, man. They get mixed messages, tell them one thing, this guy tells them, man, they go over and talk to somebody else, and it's different, and this is the people in charge. So anyway, man, let's, I'm going to do some of that, and then I'll probably read a few of your guys' messages, man, from a bunch of you that are over in that area. Man, it is not only right there in the town and all that, but, man, it's just expanding out, man, miles and miles away.
Anyway,
this is not good.
Was to get into the self-sufficiency mode of being at the base, being able to grow your own food. But if that ability is taken away from you and you have no way to collect water, like you're not going to collect rainwater and filter that. I saw the craziest videos of people boiling in the water, and it was coming up with these huge white bubbles that look like chalk bubbles. I saw another girl who was making coffee and had poured the milk in, and the milk started sizzling. Like sometimes if you take hot water and you throw it in a pan of oil and it sizzles up and bounces up like that, that's what happened when she poured milk in the coffee after they boiled it, just as an example. And the EPA deems that and considers that water safe to consume as we speak. This is the biggest cover-up.
And at this point, I don't think they're trusting anybody. They're so concerned. They feel like nobody's listening to them. We may know a lot, but there's more we don't know that will still continue to unfold. And these people in this community are almost a pawn in between some political agency, corporate scenario, and they're just left there to fend for themselves at this point.
ERIN, do you trust the EPA and the all clear that they gave?
No, I might be the wrong person to ask about that. I've been doing this for 30 years, so I've seen too many things that have slipped by or too many loopholes, but I don't know how anyone can trust them when, A, they're awful late to the game. There was just a real quiet moment on February 3rd when the train derailment happened to February 6th when they lit it on fire, which, by the way, they dug a hole and put all the chemicals into that hole and lit it on fire. So two things happened at that moment. A, we have a toxic cloud full of chemicals that has fallen out a great distance. We still don't know what that exact distance is. And you've now contaminated the groundwater. And there's so much that has to be done, Natasha, before we're going to get true answers. We still don't see the raw data. We need to begin remediation. We have to set up monitors for where this groundwater plume will or won't move. We need to talk about.
In the beginning days, I'm just going to say it, they covered it up. They tried to. Now, luckily with Twitter being more open, it started to trend. And once it started to trend, people were like, wait, I never heard about this. Nor did I for days. I didn't hear about that. And my aunt, who lives up in Ohio, suddenly says, you know about the train rail derailment? And I was like, I think I saw a picture or something. And she's like, no, you don't realize how bad it truly is. The farmers up there are terrified to plow their own fields this year. That's just days after this event. They're not even in a long-term studies, nothing. The farmers don't want to plant because when they till their fields, they rake up the dust. Dust is, and you ever watch anybody disc their field? If it's not wet, it's a dust factory. They do not want to breathe the air with all the contaminants on the soil surface when they go through to plow. They just really, I shake my head the more I research into this, like what is going to happen from this point forward? Are we going to see a forced relocation of millions of people? Or are they going to let the toxins stay in the soil and uptake into our food supply? It's going to be one or the other. There's really going to be no C choice on this. Toxins out of the rail cars instead of transferring them to another set of hazardous or hazmat vehicles because A, it would take too long and it would cost too much, and it was costing too much money to our U.S. national economy by leaving these main trunk railroads closed. So the expediency of getting the rails open again was poised against the health and safety of a water supply and level off. And there was no news coverage, and the reporters that tried to cover this in the beginning were arrested the reporters who tried to break the story. Well, it just got too vast, too fast, too many people getting sick, too many animals dying. And I look at these pictures and I go, how could that many animals die and this is not a national story? How many people are sick, skin wounds, respiratory problems, and they're still being told that, oh, no, you can drink the water today. This could possibly be the worst chemical spill and environmental disaster in American history. Now, that is saying something huge after the BP oil spill. Exxon Valdez in equivalent is about a teaspoon of oil going into the ocean comparatively to what the damage this thing's about to do. The drift of this dark black, and you can see at the lower height of the AGL, this is how many altitude feet we're looking at, about 15,000 feet, was the densest of the black. That black smoke that I showed you in the emissions is all that black you're seeing there that has thinned in the atmosphere as it moved to the northeast. The blues and the aquas went much higher in the atmosphere, and they're going to be carried way over Canada and out into the ocean. Now, they're going to dissolve in the ocean much more readily. It'll just disappear out there. But what you see here, that black mat makes farm fields under that black mat unusable this year. And this is why I'm wondering, what is the choice going to be? Are they going to make this area of the country off limits for farming this year? Or are they going to allow the farmers to plant in this toxic mess and uptake into the plants, the corn, the vegetables, the fruits, and put it on your dinner plate and make everybody sick? How would you get the people off the land? Well, if you contaminated this heavily, they would be forced to leave. Forced relocation. Now, another thing about this, after we come back from the break, this is the most heavily dense Amish area in the United States. So the Amish will not be able to grow crops this year either on their own land. It will be too polluted and too toxic for the Amish to even grow. So what does that leave them? Are they going to have to go suddenly start buying food in supermarkets?
To the health and welfare of them and their children. They're very concerned for the future. They don't know what any of this means, and it's very concerning to the entire ecosystem. And listen, this could be a situation where Norfolk Southern Railroad made a bad situation 100 times worse that this community and the ecosystem could see the fallout of for decades.
Okay, folks, man, I could go on with this for hours, man. Then I could go on to the other ones, that I did clips, and I didn't even, the clips that I have from ERIN BROCKOVICH, David Devine, ADAPT 2030. I have, man, just clips beyond clips of stuff. I'm like, oh, I got to share this. Really, man? With both of the ones that I shared on today's video, ERIN BROCKOVICH's video is on, I think that's News Nation on YouTube. So you can go over there, man, watch that in its entirety. Very good interview. And then, like I said, I'll put the link for Adapt 2030's down, and that's actually over at Rumble. So, man, you can definitely go over there and check those out. So then, Heavenly Hills Homestead. We live within 200-mile radius, and I can tell you we had flooding for the past 2 days and then turned to snow. My friend was catching the snow on fire. Went to the lake behind our house that is on our intro on our videos, and guess what? Fish and frogs dead. I'm going tomorrow to walk completely around the entire lake to see what the damage is. Another friend told me today a lot of the animals on his trap line has been dead or very lethargic. Which is a trapper myself. I know that's very odd. Keep doing what you are, brother. This is the only way we're going to get some kind of satisfaction. Doodle. Why would anybody be surprised that Norfolk Southern Corp and U.S. government have entered into a criminal conspiracy and lying to the public? Norfolk Southern Corp gets the diesel they burn and the locos at a steep discount from the U.S. government. Politicians and the administration have major stock in the corp. That's why Biden jumped last month in and made a new contract with them by executive order. Lisa Fink. This is so crazy and sad that is happening to our country. Prayers for the people in that town. Prayers for everyone. You are doing a great job of keeping us informed. Thank you. Mason. The extremely evil elites ruling have an agenda. They've been working on this many years. Complete control over people's lives, and Bill Gates has said depopulate. Factories burning down and are deliberately done, destroying poultry, bees, etc. Control the food, control the people. One world government is coming. Terry Miller. Back in 2001, when the World Trade Towers came down, the woman that was head of the EPA assured the emergency responders that the air quality wasn't dangerous. Last I heard, 10 or 15,000 of them had died from toxic exposure from hazardous particles. Donita Harcher. Over 2 weeks, and no birds have been sighted or returned to feeders. Remember, sending birds into mines, test the air? That says it all. Jamie Farley. Trisha, a local here, is a reporter for Fox. She's been there for days and has a rash among other problems happening. I'm located in between East Palestine and Lexington, Kentucky, along the Ohio River. The local Lexington News reported lots of dead birds due to a storm. I don't care how great a prepper, off-gridder, or homesteader you are, because no one can prep for this crap. It's a very relevant story event. Thanks for sticking your neck out to cover it. Much appreciated. Man, I've heard that a few times, man. It's actually, I can't remember if I put that in the clips. I think I did. Yeah, it did, about him being, self-reliant. That's what this channel, part of this channel is about. Self-reliant, man, growing your own stuff, taking care of your dang self. Well, if they pollute all the water and you can't catch rain and all that, they've won. That's all I got for you, man. I gotta go give my grandma a call. It's her birthday. And, it's so hard to just be, it's very, scary times, man, for sure. Good Lord willing, them creeks don't rise. We'll be back again tomorrow.